All-in-One Sports VR currently has 11 sports games which you can play in single-player or in multiplayer games. In the main lobby, you have everything you need right in front of you. You can pick what game you want to play, customize your avatar, view leaderboards and achievements, and adjust options. Hey everyone, this is Corey, and in this series we will help you answer the question if All-in-One Sports VR is worth it. I review every game I play in VR, so if you want more, then you already know what to do. As always, we talk about the good stuff, the bad stuff, and then I give you my opinion and tell you whether I think it's worth it. So let's get right into the good stuff. Every sport game you play is very simple in the way you play it, except for billiards. Billiards movement was nauseating in the way that you move around the table, to the point where I didn't even want to move around anymore. But I will talk more about this later. Since each game is so different, we are going to break this review down into each game's category. I'll leave timestamps in the video as usual if you want to skip around. I will say that each game I played single player simply because I don't have friends in VR to play with right now. I tried searching for multiplayer matches, but I wasn't able to find anyone to play with during my time searching. The devs were very kind and sent me some game keys to give away for the Steam version. And I will be doing this on my Twitter, so make sure to follow me there if you want a game key. I'll leave a link in the description down below. So, let's start with basketball. Things are very simple and felt like I was playing basketball in Rec Room. This isn't a bad thing at all, but don't expect crazy physics and movement. In fact, you don't move at all. And it's more of a game of around the world, where you make basketball shots from various positions on the court, but you're timed to see who can make the most shots. Mechanically, you simply pull the trigger and pick the ball up, and release the trigger when you want to let go. You're playing directly against your opponent, which means their balls will interact with yours, and they can collide with your ball. The person who makes the most shots when the time runs out wins the game. Next up, we have Archery. If you can't already tell, these games feel very close to Wii Sports, and Archery was my favorite Wii Sports game to play. So I actually really enjoyed playing Archery in All-in-One Sports VR. You can grab your arrow and draw your bow with the trigger on your controller, and a zoom window pops up in front of you so you can really focus in on where you are shooting your arrow. I was surprised because this implementation worked very well, and again, reminded me a lot of Wii Sports. You have to account for wind and distance, so this keeps things interesting. In tennis, you're moving around the court automatically as you return the ball. This happens seamlessly, without much motion sickness. But it may affect some players who are not used to movement in VR yet, especially movement which they have no control over. I found this a bit odd at first, but it actually works very well. And it allows me to focus on hitting the ball rather than moving around. And with a game like this, I think this is one of the better approaches, and it works great. With Ping Pong, things started to feel a little bit weird. And this is mainly because I played a game like 11 Table Tennis, which is basically a ping pong simulator. In All-in-One Sports though, ping pong felt very arcadey, and I didn't enjoy it because I didn't feel like I was in control of the ball. However, the ball was much easier to hit and keep on the table. So if 11 Table Tennis is too much of a challenge, then you may enjoy this better. This brings me to Billiards, which is quite complicated and very nauseating when moving around the table, since the controls are very awkward for moving around and doesn't feel natural. Once you have things lined up, hitting the ball felt good, but again, it's very arcadey and it shows you exactly where your ball is going. Badminton has you slapping your racket into the birdie as you'd expect, and it's similar to tennis and ping pong in that it's not entirely accurate, but it's still a ton of fun if you're not trying to get too serious and just want to have some fun. In darts, you're cheered on by the others as you miss the board entirely, trying your best to hit the right markers to add up your score. With darts, I found it impossible to be anywhere near accurate, so this game is purely based on luck, at least for me. I'm sure it's fun to play with a friend, but again, I couldn't find anyone in their matchmaking system. Baseball has you pitching and batting, and when pitching, you have various balls in front of you which indicate how you will throw the ball. You are limited to more powerful throws, so you have to use them somewhat strategically. All you do is throw the ball here, so there's nothing special going on. When batting, you can power up your bat to give it a boost, or hit it normally. You can also bunt the ball, but the player seems to run too slow for this to be effective. In their boxing game, they recently added a beatboxing game mode, which plays very similar to something like 𝗚𝗏𝗡𝗙𝗪. This has you hitting discs, dodging obstacles, and blocking attacks. The song was well on beat with the hits, but hitting the discs was incredibly inconsistent, so I had some trouble here. I felt like I was doing exactly what I should be doing to hit the disc, but I was getting a ton of misses, which just felt bad. Some optimizations need to be made here to make the game feel good, but it feels great when it does register your hits. Golf reminds me again of Wii Sports. You pick a club, adjust your angle for wind, and give the ball a whack while the game plays its role at calculating where the ball will land. As with the theme of all-in-one sports, it keeps things simple, and getting exact angles isn't necessary. Bowling I found to be one of the more enjoyable games, and while it's still very arcadey, it felt good to put a spin on the ball and take down pins. However, the audio for the ball hitting the ground is a bit too loud, which really woke me up. So that's all of the games. There's quite a few, and they're all fun in their own way. In the main lobby you have access to leaderboards, which is always nice. There's quite a few customization options and cosmetics to unlock for your avatar. However, there are limited game options, but I guess you don't need too much here. A seated playing option would be nice to have though. There's also achievements, which will keep things interesting if you're a completionist. All-in-one Sports VR was a lot of fun, and reminded me of Wii Sports, if I haven't said that enough times. The games are quick and simple, with the games not to be taken too seriously. But as always, this brings me to the bad stuff. To start, I wasn't able to find anyone to play with in matchmaking, which left me playing alone. This isn't a bad thing on its own, especially if you have friends to play with, but for a solo player like me, expect to play with the AI. With this being said, the game desperately needs some sort of campaign mode where you challenge progressively more difficult AI. This will keep the game alive while multiplayer lobbies are dead. All-in-one Sports VR is a ton of fun, but for anyone wanting a more realistic approach to a sports game, then this is not it. Each game is a very watered-down version, with mechanics feeling arcadey and unrealistic. Some games played are not even the full experience, such as basketball or baseball. But this was all expected, and I am just stating this so that you know what you're getting into if you decide to pick this game up. So, is it worth it? All-in-one Sports VR has a wide variety of what I would call sports minigames, and this would be a ton of fun to play if you had friends to play with on a relaxing weekend. Each game was simple and easy to pick up and learn to play for people of all ages, with Billiards being an exception in that it was pretty awkward to position yourself around the table. That being said, if you don't have friends to play with, then there isn't much offered in terms of a single-player campaign, and you should expect to be limited to playing against AI since the matchmaking lobbies are empty. VR is still a very small market, but things are starting to change and things are looking better and better for VR each passing year. I enjoyed All-in-one Sports VR, but I only think it's worth it if you have a friend or two to play with. This is all just my opinion though, and I'm curious whether you think it's worth it. Let me know in the comments down below. I post new videos every week, so if you want to see more, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell to get notified when I release new videos. Liking the video helps a ton and shows your support, and if you want to know what's on my mind, then follow me on Twitter. Links are in the description down below. As always, make sure you think for yourself, which means question yourself, do what makes you happy, and I'll see you all next time.